So now you get the opportunity to go back to the Apollo.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And it's for the Apollo Music Cafe, I believe.
Yeah, I did that a few times. Apollo became my second home, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they would call me to perform. They would call me to, for artists that they wanted to come in, and they needed ideas or co-signs on certain artists. But certain places in New York, Apollo, SOBs, and then eventually BB King's became a second home to me. They were all
Okay.
like, I set up a residency in BB King's with a Soul Factory where I hosted that show. And I was whatever artists they brung through in BB King, they would always, if it was a female artist, even male artists, a lot of times, if our voices were a different texture, they would call me in to open up and do this, that, and do this, that, and the other. I hosted a show for about a year, a little over a year, at Lucille's, the smaller lounge.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I was, so I got real tight with everybody over BB King's. I broke my heart when they had to shut it down and all of that. A lot of our performance spaces in New York, especially now, have been shut down and moved out.
So now you also I don't know if it was a residency type, but I know you also had a relationship with Blue Note.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So speak about that, because that's a legendary room as well.
Like I said, man, I've been blessed. I've been blessed, with the opportunity to grace all of these stages and see my name on the wall and be able to hang out in the dressing rooms and, the Blue Note. I had an opportunity to do the late night show. I'm hopping on the stage at 1 a.m. Like, what? 1 a.m.
Prime time. That's
Man,
prime time, baby.
voice is dead to the world. Sleep. Gotta sleep in my car till the time to do the show.
Yeah, yeah.
It was nuts. Do an hour show, hour and a half show at 1 a.m. in the morning. Ain't getting home till 5 kind of thing. But it's the Blue
Listen, man.
Note. So
That's
it's the Blue
that's the life, and that's the lifestyle, man. Now,
and
now,
you do those shows well, I did those shows and I built, a good following fan base doing that, and they moved me to the 8 p.m. shows. So now, now I'm prime time.
absolutely.
And so, get to Sam Cooke, and that's why, one of the, I don't say first places, but when I reintroduced my Sam Cooke show, it was there at the Blue Note.
All right, so it was one performance that I think it was at a theater, Uptown.
Beacon was no, it wasn't.
Beacon.
Well, it was the Beacon, but no, Uptown. You might be talking. What show was that? I can't remember. I got the name of the place.
Either way, check this out.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's watching right now. We were late for the show.
Mm-hmm.
It probably 9 times out of 10 it would have been my fault. This time it wasn't my fault. And she know exactly who she is, who's watching right now.
Mm-hmm.
And we got there, and I think it was a tribute to, I want to say, it wasn't Sam Cooke.
It had to be Sam Cooke. I know exactly. It's the Triad Theater.
Triad Theater. Okay, it's Triad Theater. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. So I missed that joint.
First did Sam Cooke in 2000 and was 2009, 2009, I think.
Yeah, somewhere around there. But there's another theater where I was really trying to make this show at the Howard Theater. I wasn't there, but just the pictures and the footage that I had seen, it just looked like that experience was otherworldly. Could you talk about, Howard Theater? I believe that's in Washington, D.C.
DC, yeah.
Yeah, like talk to us about that, because when I saw the pics, it just looked like you had a ball. You had a ton of fun, and like the people were truly engaged in it, man.
Right.
Talk about it.
Right. Well, that was a brunch show, but like I said, there were certain places that, when I gave them a phone call or they would give me a phone call to come and perform, Howard Theater was one of them. And I performed and opened up for all kinds of artists, up until that point, and then they finally gave me my own show, my own night, just me, no nothing like that, and we did the Sam Cooke thing, and we sold it out, sold out Howard Theater and brunch show, and it was just an amazing experience. Had the full band out there. I think it was 7-8 piece band, and we did the full Sam gig, man, hit, and it was just one of the memorable, one of the amazing experiences to be able to, like I said, all these legendary Blue Note, Apollo, soul SOBs, like all these amazing legendary places that I got an opportunity to frequent and relationships with people and really just make a name for myself.
So you mentioned that you forged some relationships with some other artists, like talk about some experience that you had opening up for certain artists, and what shocks you about working with those A-level type artists.
Well, I mean, I've worked with so many artists. All of them had one thing in common, and it was their dedication to their craft. It was their work. And the support that they had around them. One thing I always envied, and I've never truly had the opportunity to have this, but to just walk into a space and just be the artist. A lot of time as an indie, you have to wear multiple hats. You got to be the promoter, you got to be the stage manager, you got to be the music director, you have to be, the dude at the door collecting tickets before you run up on stage and perform.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to have that experience. Well, all I got to do is walk in, sing, and go home.
Show up. Yeah.
Artists didn't even do their own sound check. I had, the background singer did the sound check to get the mic levels and all of that stuff. But and another thing I noticed with the artists is we're all the same. We're all human. And they, even though they've reached the max level of success, they have the same insecurities, if not more, than the average person.
Let me tell you something. I've heard that a lot. I've heard that quite a bit, and it wasn't shocking, but what took me by surprise was that you would just hear it from different people in different spectrums. Like artists are just, and when you think about it, like they're just people. They're just people. They just have a lot more fame, a lot more money, but they just
a lot more money. But you gotta keep in mind, man. You don't get elevated. You don't get elevated in one space. You don't get elevated successfully without getting elevated with challenges as well. And success come. It's always a balance. So you might be successful, famous, or have a lot of money, but your challenges have elevated as well. Now you got people who pockets. Now you got people who always want something from you. Now you have to be able to navigate that. Where everybody at one level, when you was on the come up, everybody was grinding, everybody was working together. People weren't trying to pull at you because they didn't think you had nothing.
Yeah.
When you get something, now you got everybody pulling at you. Everybody got expectations, and that's the thing. Expectations. Once you reach a certain level, it was crazy. I let some folks hear my new single the other day. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. But folks get to the point where they expect you to make that hit. So when you make it, it's like they're, when you first coming up and they don't have those expectations, everything is like, oh.
Yeah.
When you've had a few of them, they their expectations have elevated for you, so you and they're looking for more, looking for something, whatever, but they may not be as energetic and enthusiastic about your work, which is no slight on you. It's just they've come to expect you to be great, so now to get that response that you got in the beginning, you gotta, I don't even know, sometimes you can't even get it because they just expecting you to be that great.
Consistently. I see a lot of comedians say this when they're doing a show. Shout out to Barry all the way from Texas.
Yeah.
My brother Will, what's up? Larry, what's going on? We're gonna talk. And they're like, yo, y'all want a funny ass joke every single time. And it's hard to please everybody. You know what I mean?
You can't.
It's hard to please everybody. You know what I mean? But what's up, Cuzzo, all the way from Cali, West Coast. So I just want to say this, right? So I created this platform where I can have brothers like yourself, and I'm just blessed where I know a lot of people doing some amazing things. So I created this platform so people, artists like yourself, can come on and talk about their experiences, talk about, you know, what they've been through, talk about what they're going through now, talk about their plans in the future. And there was something, you know, so I just want to give you your flowers while you're alive so you can smell them. I want you to hear how much I appreciate your talent while you're alive to appreciate it. You know what I mean? So I just want to say thank you for coming on and giving me this opportunity. I know we talked about it a million times, but you know, you got a little man, I got two little queens. You got a young king that you raising. I got two queens that I'm trying to raise, and you know, scheduling is always something. So I just wanted to put it out there that listen, man, I think you're one of the most talented brothers that that I've come across in my career. So salute to you. I just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you.